Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about project settings of the Fantom-G. So let's get to the project settings of the Fantom-G. So first, press the menu button, and within the menu we see a lot of different options. The one we're going to end up going to is Project, but we also see System, Factory Reset, Format USB, USB Storage, and Import Audio. Let's go ahead and go to Project. Press F1 for Project. So in this section we see 6 options. The first one is Load Project. Loading a project will load a project from the internal memory of the Fantom-G, which has 50 megs possible internally. Or it'll also load a project from the USB memory into the Fantom-G's temporary area. So just be aware that when you load a project, the contents of the temporary area will be rewritten. If the temporary area contains any important data, samples or sounds or anything you don't want to lose, you must save it to USB memory before loading a project. So load project is probably the most common one you're going to use. The next section, I'm going to use my dial wheel, or I could use my cursors, whichever way you want to work, is Save Project. Now Save Project will save the project from the temporary area to the internal memory or USB memory. Now once again, if we're saving it to the internal memory, remember the Fantom-G only has 50 megabytes to save internally. Okay, so if you're dealing with samples, any kind of samples, this will probably be eaten up pretty quickly, so you'll want to use a USB memory. The next section is Save As Project. Save As Project will save the project from the temporary area to internal memory or USB memory under a different name. So maybe I'm working on a project and I'll call it, Master Song Number 1, and I don't want to erase over what I've been doing on that project, Master Song Number 1. So I'll go ahead and press Save As, and I'll choose to save it to a USB thumb drive. This is very important, Save As Project. And this is one that I actually use a lot. Let's cursor down to the next one, which is Create Project. Create Project is one we have to be careful of because there's some things that happen that will sometimes be negative in the sense that you'll accidentally erase stuff that you've done. You'll lose projects. Create Project is something that we use when we want to start fresh. Okay, so when you execute a factory reset, preload data is loaded into the user patch and user live studio sets area. If you don't need any of the preloaded data, choose internal memory when executing Create Project. This allows you to create a project in which all data is initialized. So if you don't want any of the demo data that we give you, just go ahead and press Create Project. Just keep in mind, if you've already been working inside your Fantom-G and you have some songs or samples or sounds already saved, you might want to go ahead and do Save As Project. Because if you go ahead and press Create Project, it's going to just wipe everything clean, so you just have a fresh surface to work on. So Create Project is something that you'll use when you just want to start from scratch. That's creating user patches, user live sets, user studio sets, fresh samples, fresh songs. If you already have stuff that you've been working on and you want to continue to use it or add to it but not affect the project that it's in natively, then you go to Save As Project. Let's go to the next one, which is Backup Project. So Backup Project will back up a project from the internal memory to USB. Only one. You only get one backup per USB. So this is something real good. It's if you're traveling and you want to go ahead and take all your Fantom settings with you on the road but not take your Fantom, and you don't have multiple projects. You just use one basic project. Or maybe this is a project all others are built from. And what I mean by that is maybe this is where, in this backup project, is where you keep all of your custom live sets, all of your custom sounds, and all projects that you build after this are going to have all those type of sounds that you made. So create a backup project of that. Another good thing about a backup project, if you make a backup project, you can take it to any Fantom-G in the world, Fantom G6, G7, or G8, and use those files inside that Fantom. And the way we're going to do that is by going to the next screen, which is Restore Project. Now, just as the name implies, Restore Project restores a previous project that was backed up to USB memory using Backup Project. Okay, so this is what I was saying. If we made a backup of all of our live sets, patches, samples, songs, whatever, and we want to restore it, we can take this, the backup file that we made previous, and restore it to any Fantom. Now, keep in mind, when you press Restore, you restore a backup, it's going to wipe whatever is inside the internal memory of that Fantom. So if you have stuff that you want to keep, make sure you save as project or you save the project. Okay, this is something very important that you need to do. Well, I hope this explanation has been very helpful to you, but please also remember to refer the manual, the Fantom-G manual, and it's broken down real nicely in there on pages 280 through 283. So check that out. If you have more questions, please give us a holler at Roland. Thank you.